Good morning. It is Training Tuesday. Hi, I'm glad that you're here on this summer day. I am Suzanne Castle, creator and founder of the Sparkle Factor. Every Tuesday, I jump into your live. Hello, Instagram. Hello, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, all the places, all the people. And in about 10 minutes or less, we do some high level training. Now, sometimes this is mindset training, sometimes it's action training, but whatever it is, it's for the things to help you align your life and your business for whatever you're dreaming. I don't care if you're retiring somewhere on a yacht, if you're hanging out in your backyard, if you're at the office and you're trying to do all the things. That's what Training Tuesday is always about. I'm always glad to see you. Give me some love in the chat. Let me know that you're here, waving at Instagram. Let me know where you're tuning in from, whether it's live or hashtag replay. I will take a look at the comments along the way. Today, we're talking about one of my favorite topics, which is fear, because we all have it, right? We all have fear. Fear is that tingling. Fear is that paralyzing. Fear is that, oh my gosh, I can't do this. Fear is that feeling that honestly is there to keep you safe, right? You think about way back in the Wayback Machine, humans were roaming the planet. There might have been Tyrannosaurus Rex chasing you. There definitely were bears. Scary things are happening. And fear is that response that tells you you need to get to safety. That's fear. So when you're trying to do a hard thing, a new action, changing something up, trying something new, that same reaction gets triggered. And you might not be running from a bear or a T-Rex, let's say, but you're still doing something different that your brain and your body don't quite know how it's going to go. So the natural reaction inside of you is, oh, don't do that thing, right? Now, fear can be healthy. Fear can keep us sharp. Fear can make sure that we're looking at all the pitfalls and understanding things differently. That's a good thing about fear. But fear can also keep you paralyzed and keep you stuck. And here at the Sparkle Factor HQ, we say often, stuck is not a destination, friends, right? It is never the furthest that you can go. So we want to utilize fear. We want to understand fear in a different way so that we can take it in for what it is, say, thank you, fear, for trying to keep me safe, and then decide what action, what thought we're going to do instead. So today I put together a couple of key questions. So for those of you that journal, you might want to be jotting this down. You might want to come back to the video later and journal. Otherwise, I just want you to think about these thoughts and what is rising up within you. Is it a physical reaction? Is it a thought reaction? Is it some kind of feeling? And whatever those are they useful? Are they helpful? Are they a thing you need today? Or is it something that maybe you need to let go of in a different way, in a different capacity? So let's dive right in, shall we? We've heard it said, there's nothing to fear but fear itself, right? I don't know if that's true because there are some deep, scary things in the world that I am definitely afraid of. And I'm glad that I'm afraid of them because they keep me safe. But what I realize is when I allow my fear to control me, what happens is I'm missing out on opportunities that can open the doors to a much better life. And therefore, when you understand fear, when you're accessing fear, a good thing to do if you're in that moment, especially if you're paralyzed with taking action, is okay, to let go of this fear and to understand it. What would be the consequence of this? If I do this, then. So sometimes it's easy to just make a list and answer the question, if I do this, then, and get it all out. Like I teach a whole training on how you can project manage your own self with different characters and like think about putting on a costume, right? And one of those costumes is the Grim Reaper. And the Grim Reaper is that fear-based, right? The Grim Reaper is always about what's the pitfall, what's the setback, what are all the things that could go wrong. So really when you're dealing with paralyzing fear in action, it doesn't matter if you're doing something for the first time, if you're scuba diving, or if you're just trying to cold call a client, or if you're just doing something, whatever it is, doesn't matter. If you're having a hard time getting started, to let go of the fear, make a list of the consequences, right? What is the worst thing that could happen? Right? What is this? Then the next step is to not allow fear to dictate your decisions because, right, you're getting the information. Information is key here. Information will let you know, is this reality based? Is this feeling based? Is this thought based? Is it true? Is it helpful? Is it useful? So we don't want to allow fear to dictate your decisions. Instead, we want to be capable of weighing whether or not we are equipped in that moment to take on a certain situation. A lot of times I find, especially with my clients, when we're doing fear work, some of that fear comes that we don't have the resources that we need in that moment. That could be financial, it could be a team member, it could be some family support, it could be what we're doing here, it could be education, let's say. And so we stay in this place of fear because we don't have the things that we need to do the thing, right? The equipping. So again, you've got your list, but then part of that is, okay, now that you look at that, do I have the resources I need to be doing this thing anyway? Are you equipped? And if not, what can you do about that? Right? Then you want to evaluate the requirements. Can you evaluate the requirements for the task that you wish to take? And then compare them to that resource list, that skill set. And then what you're doing is you're telling your brain, you might be feeling all of this, but we're just going to get some data here. We're going to see, hey, is this a good match? Do I have what I need? Can I take action anyway? And if it's a good match, then you go, hey, brain, we've got what we need. Let's go chase that. Let's go do that thing. It might feel a little scary, but we're going to do it anyway. And if not, then you tell your brain, wow, okay, not quite ready here. So what do I need to do successfully to tackle this challenge instead? What do I need to get on my team so I can do the thing? Again, the entire time you're trying to not be reactive and you're thinking about fear. You're trying to let it use it as a useful tool to propel you forward with what you need. So then, okay, you've made your list to not allow fear to control you. You've thought about your decision-making, your resources, your skill set. You're evaluating your requirements along the way. And then the next thing that happens is belief. You're not going to do anything if you don't believe you can do it, right? If you don't believe in yourself and in your abilities. So we want to be done with taking the backseat to your life. So this is what I teach. I teach a whole training on becoming the CEO of your own life and your business. So you want to say, I am the CEO. I am deciding what I feed. I am deciding what I'm thinking. I am deciding what decisions I'm making and actions I'm taking from a place of strategy, which is not the backseat. We're not quarterbacking, Sunday quarterbacking for anything, right? We are actually going to do the game plan. So we want to push fear to the passenger side, let's say. We want to take control of the wheel, and we want to say, because I have all this information, because I have the resources I need, I have the team support, I think and know that I can, I believe in myself, I am going to go do this anyway. And then in that moment, there is nothing to fear but fear itself, as we started this training. Because in that sense, fear is now just this like creepy boogeyman, right? Talk's a big talk. When you actually push forward, it's like, oh, forget it. When push comes to shove, your fear is going to shrivel down to nothing, because now fear is just like, oh, you tried to tell me about this thing, but now I have everything. Now I have what I need. So I don't need to believe in you anymore, right? Thank you for trying to protect me, fear, but I'm going to go do this thing anyway. Do you see the way this works? So then your fear, not your lack of ability, is what can help you remain standstill. And that's when you get to choose in that moment. Do I want to stay still? Do I want to move? You see, fear really doesn't like for you to get data, and it doesn't like for you to make choices. It only wants you to react, right? So remember that fear is only always at ease when it's in a predefined comfort zone. You've done this, you know what to expect, you know how to show up, you know what's already going to go wrong. Like, fear loves to live in that place. So anything out of that is a fear response, because it's outside. It like triggers those internal alarms, right? So what we want to do is we want to get ourselves in a place with tools and resources. We can ignore those alarms and then go, but I have data that says. And now, because it says that, I'm going to step into this action. I'm going to take this step. I'm going to do this thing with confidence, because I've given it the time and attention it needs to know that I have what I need. You are the boss of your own mind. You get to decide today, right? So maybe you want to ask yourself some self-reflection questions along the way this week as you're tackling the fear with whatever it is you're trying to step into. So the first one I would ask myself is, how are my fears holding me back from achieving the dreams that I'm trying to do right now? How is that working? Right? Understand it. Secondly, I would ask myself, is this rational? Is this fear rational, or is it developing due to a lack of control and resources? And then thirdly, I would ask myself, now, self, how can I productively overcome my deepest fear and do the thing anyway? Just get it down. Notice all of this is just information that lets you decide if you're going to do the thing or not, right? I'm a big person on data. My clients, I say it all the time, let's look at the data first. Feel the feels, but let's look at the data to know if our feelings are helping us and are useful or are keeping us stuck. All right, that's what I have for you today. This was Training Tuesday. I am so glad that you caught it on live or replay. Don't let fear rule your life. Let it serve you in a way to protect you, and then go do the thing with knowledge that you need. I'll see you next Tuesday. I'm Suzanne Castle. Take care.